What's up, y'all, and welcome to the weekly SPOILERCAST. I kind of like a ring to that. This is something that I'm going to be trying to do, at least just with this show, just to test it out or whatnot. It's a lot, but in whatever. So I have been episode 1, my my spoiler review of episode 1 of The Gifted is up now, so go ahead and check that out. This is episode 2, which is titled RX, and I'm here giving my review again about it. So every week I'm going to be giving out these reviews. Most likely it's going to be dropping on the weekend since I have a lot to do throughout the week. And I don't really get to watch this show until really late. So yeah, this is and just like the Wrestling Corner edition of the Take One podcast, this is going up late. This is supposed to be put up last week, but I just didn't have time to do it, so I'm putting it up today, and hopefully this week I'll be able to put it up by this weekend. So it is what it is. So basically this whole episode, I'm going to just give a quick synopsis of this episode. That way, when I get to spoilers, you know everything I'm getting through. But if you've seen it, you already know what it's about. But in any case, it's Reed is drilled for information by Jace Turner. And Polaris, she has to deal with life in prison, as well as Eclipse and Kaylin go to get meds for Kitty Pryde while the mutant underground deals with out of control portals. And so the episode starts off with like a memory with the family bowling and stuff, and so they come across this little girl who has this mutant type power which I didn't get. Was she getting teased by like some people? I'm guessing like she was getting heckled, and then she was like getting mad and her power was kicking in, and she was shaking and all that. I don't know what the hell was going on, but then Reed, he basically goes to the father and tells him that like, this is one thing that I didn't get. Like, I was like, what? This didn't make any sense that, mutants in this like universe or whatever, that if they use their powers to harm somebody, even if it's by accident, that is still a crime. Now I get it, like, it's like, if you accidentally shoot somebody, then it's still a crime, whatever. You accidentally shot them, cool, whatever. But still, in the same sense, like, if you're dealing with a kid that has a mutant ability, and they accidentally harm somebody because they don't know how to control it, and let's say this is them first discovering their power, it's like it's an offense. Like, I get it or whatever, but I mean, I say they shouldn't be punished because they don't know how to use their powers. They should be, like, I guess you could say, watched and then trained how to use their powers, or it just, I don't know, like, it didn't make any sense. Not saying that, like, their writing didn't make any sense, but I'm just saying, like, it as a law, just thinking the storyline within their story, it's kind of, like, bad. I don't know, I didn't like that. If I was in that universe, I'd be like, man, I don't like this, like, it's just, you have these powers and you can't use them. I'm not saying that you want to harm people, but still, it's whatever. That's just my little rant. But yeah, well, what else? I'm over here looking through my notes and stuff is messing up. And so we get back to Polaris. I think that's how you say it. Polaris. We get to her in prison, and we find out that she has a brace around her neck, and what it does is prevent her from using her powers. So if she tries to use her powers, it zaps her. And so it was like, no, that kind of was pretty cool or whatever. They know how to stop mutants from using their powers and stuff. And so now she's literally having to deal with the prejudice of being in jail with people who don't like mutants. And then we got this one girl who basically tells any mutant person that is in the prison that they have to work under her, that they have no choice, that they automatically is her slave. And so that's this, yeah. that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine it. But then we get to Kitty Pryde using her power is kind of like out of control because she's having like these seizures or whatever, these little moments to where she is. And I don't know what I'm not a doctor. I can't give my my whatever it's called or whatnot, but yeah, so she kind of has these things, it's kind of like seizures where her powers start to light up, and then she opens up a portal, and it's noticeable that she opens up a portal to the same spot, and it's just constantly the same spot, the same spot, the same spot, and it's like they're literally trying to deal with it because as it's opening up, it opens up a portal, and then this truck comes through, but actually just cuts off a part of the truck, which actually was a pretty cool thing. But then later on, that same portal opens up at the same spot, and then somebody else sees it and all this stuff. And then as the portal opens, more like police come, and then the SWAT comes, and was actually a pretty good little scenario made for this show and what they had to deal with. And I thought it was handled pretty good with how they did it, and just to show that like they were like really in trouble. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I just kind of like it. Like when you put like certain characters in a certain like situation to where they have to deal with the situation. It is minor as compared to the overall storyline of like the show or movie, but in the same sense, it still is a obstacle that they have to get past, and this is actually a pretty good thing. And so Caitlin, and like I said up in the synopsis, Caitlin and Eclipse had to go out and get like meds to basically just calm her down. So they go out, even though they're wanted. They still have to go and do this. And so they go out and just go looking for, the meds. And they have to go, basically the meds that are needed, they have to get it at a hospital. And so they go, and in order to get help, this is one of the good things I did like about this episode. Is like, in order to get help, escape. Wow, escape. Wow. Okay, Eclipse has to open up a wound from where I believe he got shot. He has to open up a wound to where you see his blood, and this is kind of unique, that his blood isn't like anybody else's. It's not red and all this stuff. It's actually illuminated blood, and it's hot. And I found that was actually kind of pretty cool. I don't know, like that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, he had to show that he needed medical care like right away, and all this stuff. And so they're up in there, and it's this whole thing with like the doctor thinking that like he's like they're together, and like he beats on her, and this is happening to him. So he's telling the police while they're trying to get meds and trying to get the hell up out of there. But while they're in there, I like the whole situation with the whole healthcare. Not saying that it's a good situation, but I'm just saying like it kind of reflects our healthcare and like just how it is in real life of like these mutants. They're like they have their own, I guess you could say, special type of healthcare. They're their own special type of like hospital, and that they will get help, but it's like the bare minimum. Like it takes a long time to send them to get help, and it only takes them thinking that a mutant is dangerous in order for them not to get help, And so it's kind of like a fucked up situation, and it reflects real life. That's the thing I say about it. It reflects real life. And I felt like that was a good little thing to put up in this show, which in a sense is kind of like, when you think about it, I don't know how many people know, but just kind of like the X-Men themselves, Professor Xavier and Magneto are all based on just black of like African Americans and how we were treated back in the day. I mean, still now, but more back then, more so back then. And basically, Professor X was based off of Martin Luther King, and Magneto was based off of Malcolm X. And so it makes sense when you look at the characters, when you look at Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and then you look at Professor X and Magneto, which kind of makes sense. I mean, in the sense, like, you know, you got Professor X and then you got Malcolm X. Even though it's not the character isn't based off of Malcolm X, you still have X up in there, and then you have X-Men. So I don't know. I guess you can really kind of see the similarities. But yeah, and so what else? What else? Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that whole aspect of it. And so Lauren, she gets there. They get the meds, and so they end up basically filling her. Well, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back. And so, oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, Lauren, the daughter, of Stroker, she ends up basically finding a way to close the portals, and so she uses her power to, every time the portal is open, she closes it, but it takes a toll on her as well. And that's one aspect that I did like about just them with the mutants, is that every time that they use their power, it takes a toll on them. It's like them using energy. And so Kitty Pryde showed in her last episode when she was holding open the portal, and then by the time she let it go, she fell into like the state that she's in now. And then we see Lauren doing, basically, she is like, every time she closes a portal, it takes a toll on her. And yeah, what the hell did I? Okay, that's different. Okay, I'm looking at my notes. It's crazy. But then, yeah, so Kobe Bell, that plays Jace Turner, does a good villain. Like, I love just the way he delivers his lines and just the way he portrays his character. I feel like by the end of this season, he's going to be a good villain. I hate him, but that's only because he plays him so good. He plays a good villain. But yeah, so Caitlin and Eclipse go to steal the meds, and so they end up bringing it to Kitty Pryde and just putting, basically calming her down to where they're getting everything under control. At this point, it's like the portals are like just crazy. Like, they just open up everywhere, this and that, all throughout the compound, and it's just they finally end up closing it. And so that was one of the things that happened up in here. And so basically throughout the whole episode, which one of the things that I didn't really get to, was that Reed makes a deal with Jace. And for the simple fact that he, all throughout the episode, he was trying to basically just get him to tell him the whereabouts to the mutant underground, where they're at and all this stuff, because Reed caught one of the people, which was Polaris, because of course he works for a company that does it and stuff like that. And so he was just trying to get information out of Reed. And so by the end of the episode, he tells him that like they got his mom and they're drilling her, and that it's not going to stop unless he gives him the information that he needs. And so they end up basically just kind of making a deal, which will put which he was trying to get his family safe, like his kids not prosecuted and all that stuff, if he give him the mutant underground. So he does anything for his family and all that good stuff. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed the last episode as well. This one was kind of like, I ain't gonna say a slow burn, but it dealt with some good stuff. It had some good things up in there. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the third episode and what they're gonna do further with this whole season. So I'm looking forward to it tonight, which I'm probably not gonna end up watching it until later on this week, but you know what I'm talking about. So that ends this episode of the Take One Spoilercast of the Gifted, episode 2RX. And if you hadn't noticed that each title has an X in it, like a capital X, and all the rest of them are just lowercase letters. So, yeah, that's if that doesn't give you a hint that it's part of the X-Men universe, I don't think anything will. But yeah, this concludes my recap of thoughts, whatever of it, and so catch my well, you can go ahead and look back at my at the first episode, my whole recap and thoughts of it, as well as catch my thoughts on episode 3 coming up later on this week, and catch everything else that I'm doing, movie reviews, show reviews, and all that stuff, podcasts, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.